So what's more important, to take action first or to plan out what you're going to do? And to be honest, the average self-improvement YouTuber would say, take action first. Duh. This generation overthinks way too much. They watch way too much self-improvement content, and they read too many self-improvement, self-development books, and they're being fed all this information, yet they don't take action on it. And they're obviously saying that this mental masturbation that is consuming content, it makes you feel like you're being productive in a way. It makes you feel like you have taken some sort of action and you're making no progress. That's what the average self-improvement YouTuber would say. And I, for the most part, agree. But I think that only applies to a select few amounts of people. There does come a point where you need to take action. But think about the people who have never even consumed self-improvement content. They're the people that are so stuck in their own ways. They're the normies. They're the people who eat like trash every day. They don't go to the gym. They scroll. And when someone tells them that what they're doing is wrong, that they could live life better, when someone tells them that, they just get defensive, because why wouldn't they? They're normal human beings. So are you going to tell those people to just take action? No, they have to be convinced. And how do you convince people? How do you influence behavior? How has your behavior been influenced? What are the determining factors of behavior? This is not going to be a psychology lecture and tell you what drives behavior, but I'm just going to leave it at, it's the accumulation of everything that's happened in your life, your upbringing, the content you consume, your teachers, your parents, plus, I guess, genetics in some way. Right now, by the way, I'm filming in public. I don't know if there's neighbors around. I'm a little bit nervous filming, so I'm going to try to ignore that. But yeah, what drives behavior is the accumulation of everything. And the accumulation of everything that's happened in people's lives has not led them to take good action, right? These people that are getting defensive because someone's telling them to stop scrolling on social media, they need to be convinced it's for the best. And now you're probably thinking, I'm not that type of person. No, I don't think. I know I should be doing better, but I just can't. I should stop watching self improvement content, but I just can't take action. I think it's a whole journey to even become the person that can take action. For me, it was. I used to consume so much self improvement content. That's basically all I did. Well, in addition to my bad habits of scrolling on TikTok and watching Netflix and eating junk food. In between all of that, I consumed a lot of self improvement content over the years. And all that self improvement content convinced me that I needed to change my life and be better. And I still agree with that. I think there are objectively good things to do and objectively bad things you should do. Eating junk food is generally bad. I'm not arguing if eating junk food once every 2 years is good or bad. I'm saying, like, it's pretty fair of me to say that eating junk food 24/7 is bad and that eating healthy and going to the gym is a better lifestyle, right? Well, yeah, with that assumption that there is better things to do, I tried to do these better things, but I just couldn't. I stayed watching self improvement content and it would make me feel somewhat productive, but there eventually came the point that self-improvement content was the reason I took action in the first place. So in defense of self-improvement content, that's the mental rewiring your brain sometimes needs to take action in the first place. It's good that self-improvement YouTubers tell you to take action, because a lot of you get stuck in this cycle of watching a lot of self-improvement content and not taking action. But if you're like me and you know you should be doing better and need to take action, but you can't take action, consuming content is probably one of the better things to do, because in my experience, telling myself to just be disciplined, to just brute force discipline down my throat and just go really hard on myself to just take action, bro, never really worked for me. I had to slowly but surely, gradually improve my mindset, my beliefs, my reality. I had to change. I had to be in a good mood to take action. And obviously, down in the future, you should be disciplined and take good action and do the good habits even when you don't feel like it. But getting to that point is a journey, and it's not sustainable for probably anyone. All the people who are successful and disciplined, they kind of like are wired to want to do the work, or already built the habit. And everyone builds habits differently. They need to be convinced, they need to have a reason why they should. I personally didn't change until my current situation in life hurt so much, I suffered so much, I was in depressive, nihilistic moments of my life that led my life to suck so much that it was easier to take action than it was to remain the same. And a lot of people are just far too comfortable, and there's literally nothing you can do until you stop being comfortable. And I'm not just going to tell you get outside your comfort zone, because you know you should get outside your comfort zone. But if you can't get outside your comfort zone, you have to slowly but surely rewire everything. You have to slowly but surely rewire the accumulation of everything that's happened in your life. And that's hard. And a lot of people have too big of an ego, too much pride to want to take a really small action step. A lot of you guys are sitting and laying down in bed right now. The very first action step you can take is to get out of bed. And I mean just that. If you have homework to do, if you need to go to the gym, I'm not telling you to go to the gym or do your homework. Literally just take that one action step of getting out of bed and then go back to doing whatever bad habit you were doing. And honestly, you might not see results for a while because you have to combat years of really impactful wiring of your brain to become a new person, to change your identity, to change your habits. It all starts with that one step. And honestly, planning what to do, I wouldn't advise it for a lot of people, but if you're a complete beginner and you can't do anything, even that planning will probably dramatically increase the chances of you taking action, which is what I think most people can't do. They know they should be doing better. Maybe people get defensive. Maybe you get defensive sometimes and don't like it when people criticize you. Of course you wouldn't. But I'm here to tell you, no matter what you feel, you're totally right. No matter what excuse you have, your excuse to me is totally valid. It is absolutely valid because everything that's happened in your life led you to having this excuse. But what I am telling you to do is to drop your ego, drop your pride, and take responsibility for your life. I'm not saying this and just change your life, bro. Just be disciplined, bro. Just take responsibility. I'm not saying it in that way. Does that make sense? I'm saying this in a unfortunately the only way for you to change is to take responsibility. It would be nice if some angel came by and magically changed us and made us really disciplined people with an amazing self-identity and amazing beliefs that is capable of working hard and achieving great friendships and relationships. But we can't. So we have to take reality for what it is and slowly but surely and sustainably become the type of person that can get what we want. And that's the mindset and kind of journey you have to go on to actually change yourself as a person. And if you don't want to change yourself as a person because you think there's a true you and you're going to be fake and inauthentic to yourself, then that's mental programming, and in a way, it's a limiting belief. Honestly, if you want, you can still stay true to yourself, sort of just like rewire your brain and find a way that you can be yourself but also change. I know that sounds kind of contradictory. You can't be the same person if you want to change, which is that's a little bit too deep for me right now. For me, that's a little bit too deep for me to articulate right now. But just rewire reality and be delusional if you have to. If you have to tell yourself that you have to be delusional, then be delusional. Because let me ask you something: who do you think you are? Do you think you truly know the answer to life's biggest philosophy and psychological and medical religious questions to know about your true self and how to change people and achieve fulfillment and peace and success? No, but there's things you know you want. We have to dumb ourselves down. You ultimately want financial freedom so you can take care of yourself and your family. And I don't know, maybe you want to be a degenerate and just rent a Lambo and get with a ton of hookers. Well, I'm not going to argue against that right now. But if you want to achieve something and you're currently not the type of person that can achieve that success, you have to change. And change isn't inherently bad. I personally don't believe that there's a true self. And if there is, you kind of have to work your way to find it. And that true self is probably not the person who's scrolling every day on social media, right? Why would you want to be that person? You want to be fulfilled and you want to make good change in the world. At the end of the day, if we work hard and be nice, then how can we not be fulfilled? I actually just quoted one of my substitute teachers from back in the day in my middle school and high school. His name was Mr. Rowan. He would do riddles on the board, and we'd play like hangman with him. And one of his quotes was, "Work hard and be nice." I was a super shy kid, never really spoke to him, but it's quite amazing that stuck with me, and I thought it was facts. So I'll leave it at that. God bless you. If you believe in love, that all things happen for a reason, or that humans have purpose of some kind, or you believe in karma or the universe, you're closer to believing in God than you think. Because in my opinion, God isn't just some sky daddy in the sky, but he's more of his values of love and essence. Anyways, God bless you.